hoops on this Wednesday night, Coach. What's up, Coach B?
Hump day.
Coach. I feel like we staying a lot of action going on. You know, we had 6A. We talked 6A the other night. I know you're rearing back to get ready for school and do the things you got to do. I feel like we busy. You know, but
busy.
Hey, when the rankings start coming out, people start scratching their head and wondering what's going on, and why is our team ranked here? And we don't have no control of that. That comes from the coaches' ranking. So they did most of this ranking, but hey, all we're doing is just doing follow up and kind of talk about some of these teams. Like that, the other night we talked about 6A. Tonight we'll talk about 5A and get it out and discuss some teams and get some new teams and teams lose some kids and who can step up and try to get to the big dance. And that's what it's all about. I mean, we're talking high school girls basketball ranking already in the month of August, and they didn't even have their first football game yet, Coach. So that just tells you right there that people in Oklahoma love them some basketball. And I ain't mad at them because I love it too. I feel like my daughter just finished up her freshman campaign just the other day when she finished up that UCO's team camp, good camp. It was at Southern Nazarene. Two good team camps there. Got to see Coach Moser. I mean, she has a lot of energy, Coach. She's a bowl of joy, and she gets after it. I feel like she got her style of girls that she likes, and that's nothing wrong with that. We talked about that earlier. Everybody kind of got their style, what they like. She likes girls that can shoot and get up the court, and and that's good because she's going to build her program the way she wants it. Because it's only going to be her second year, right, Coach? Going into her second year at UCO, so I can see her turning some big things around, getting some more athletes in there, and doing the things that she wants to do. She's kind of like some of these other young coaches that started off at Division II. She plays, she was over in Moore. Now she's at UCO, and I can see her in a few years being at a Division I because she's young and she got that energy to say, hey, let's go get it. And it's all about the recruiting. So like I said, put on a good camp. Her and Trent May. Really like this camp. Both did a really good job, but Trent got a good sidekick with Mr. Parks over there with him now, a guy that's knows D1. Both of his girls are playing D1 ball. One's at K-State, and the other one's at OU. She was at Kansas. His daughters must have loved to stay to Kansas, but one said, "Wait a minute, Coach, I'm gonna come back home and be close to my home. They can do my laundry for me. So, she came back home, but Coach. What about you, man? I know you in the classroom, getting your class ready together. So how's everything going?
It's going good. We had open night last night. Got to see some of the players, and it's really kind of a new deal, new class. So kind of having to create it, develop it, some marketing, some career leadership type things for some freshmen, kind of guide them in the right direction. And then we're doing some business marketing and finance, and it kind of helps people do things like what we're doing right now. Do what you want to do for a living, but got to figure out how to make money, and things like that. Things that were just not taught when I was in school, and not everybody's going to go to college at the high school level. So you still got to prepare them. Don't mean that they got to work minimum wage, but you got to prepare them to make a career.
No, I mean that's good things about it, man. I mean now these kids don't even know how to write a checkbook. My daughter don't even know how to write in cursive. We were taught that when we were in school, but now they don't use it. They don't use checkbooks. Everybody's using Apple Pay. They're using tap the card. I still balance a checkbook. My wife used to make fun of me because I'd be sitting on the potty balancing your checkbook. I had my mind was straight and I was thinking right, Coach. Hey, I can balance it down to the penny. Now I don't even balance the checkbook. I might say, "Oh, okay, I know I got this much money. Okay, I better cut it off right here."
National Treasure one day will come back and they'll find us and we'll see. They won't know how to drive that stick shift. They'll be like, "What's that? How to drive this?" There'll be a car they can't drive. Just certain things that they won't know. We'll be like,
I think about getting my baby. She's about to turn 16 in a few months. I'm thinking about getting her sticks. If you got a stick shift, you can't text and drive, folks. You can't text. Hey, I just gave you a good tip here on Between the Line Girls. Yeah. If your baby or your son got a stick shift, he can't be texting and drive. And if he do, your insurance probably gonna go up because you're probably gonna hit something. I'm just keeping it real with you tonight. I'm just keeping it real. So
is that what happened? Is that why we don't have them anymore?
Hey, I don't know, Coach. I mean, hey, I'm really thinking about it. She's been looking, man. I mean, she's told me some prices out, and some is in our price range, and she knows what she wants. My wife, I was really took about my wife though, because she came and said, "Hey, what about this BMW?" I'm like, "Wait a minute." When I have my beam, the maintenance on them BMWs ain't cheap. So somebody better get a second job, especially if you're gonna try to stay in EYBL. You
Oh
better get
yeah,
a third job trying to pay for a BMW's maintenance and then EYBL. Somebody's gonna be hurt. We might have to move into a smaller house, coach. Smaller house. But coach,
that's funny.
like I said, you want to get this ranking going. Like I said, shout out to Katie, the basketball dads, man. They did their thing last night.
Yeah.
I gotta get on to them a little bit, coach.
Uh-oh.
They can't be getting on my man, my right hand man, Coach Vic. Talking about he gonna win 4 games, folks. If there's anybody, if anybody got Chad GBT or Chad GBB, whatever the hell he's called, get on there and Google this man and say, Chad, what has Coach Vic done every time he went to the school? All he's done is turn it around, spin it around, and make them winners.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's going to happen at Cricket Oak. It might not be this year, but folks, I'm telling you, he going to get 10 wins this year. Hey, don't let him, hey, he going to sneak up on you. Don't.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, we got 4 new kids, and we got one lady come back that came to the gym a little bit, and I like her. She came up to me last night. She was excited. And, I hadn't heard basketball dads yet because it was open house, but I would let her know that, we're going to win. And she said, you bet. And then I had 2 returning players come up. And if they buy in, we got 8. I'm gonna say we got 8 or 9 that can ball now. Uh,
I tell you,
Footwork, things like that, we got to learn. But if they get hungry. Watch out.
the young lady that was over at SNU camp,
Mm-hmm.
she went to Miller City, didn't really get a lot of game time. I know Malloy's got a loaded, was heavy with seniors last year. Then you come in with a star freshman player. Then you got some other freshmen that came in and helped you. Didn't bring any development to become a good post player for him. So uh, I know she didn't play at Miller City, but I'm telling you, I think she's gonna be able to do some decent things over at Cricket Oak, because I think sometimes you got to get that chance, and once you get that chance, and you get that chance, and you get the chance to get on the floor and do some of the things that you can do. Hey, you never know what's gonna happen. So you got to get that chance, folks. You got to remember, Michael Jordan was cut.
Cut.
Now he was cut. But coach, you want to jump into these rankings, because
Yeah, let's get going.
it's a little tough. I mean, like I said, there's some girls we're gonna mention. Folks, we can't mention every girl on everybody's team. We do our best to try to mention some girls that's probably gonna help their team do some big things. So don't get mad at us if we don't mention your baby. But I'm telling you, we're gonna do this again, and I like it that we get to do this. I think our show with 6A was pretty successful. I think 5A be a little bit really good. I think 6A, we talked about it again last night on Basketball Dads. Like
Yeah.
I thank those guys for having me on. It's always good to bring me on, but at the end of the day, Between the Line Girls Hoops is where TJ's at. I help those guys any way I can. But hey, as we helping them, we want you still to follow us on Between the Line Girls Hoops and all the other channels. Keep it 100. Coach V's throwing all. He got so many. I'm gonna let him name them. Name some of them shows you got, because you got.
I tell you what, I got one coming up tomorrow. Worthy 31. I've got the young ladies from Yukon coming on.
Hey, folks, these girls are the real deal, man. They're just 7th graders, gonna be 8th graders.
Yeah, gonna be 8th graders.
I tell you right now, I know I'm gonna make me a little flyer, because Coach Roy's gonna be trying to get him, and Coach Katie's gonna be trying to get him, and I'm gonna have on the tug of war, pulling them. Who's gonna get them? Are they gonna go to Yukon? Are they gonna go to Mustang? But hey, don't be surprised if my man Dominique gets in the mix and say, "Wait a minute, they coming to Deer Creek."
Yeah, I don't know. Mama's a Yukon grad though.
Hey, I got to stir the pot a little bit, Coach. Hey, stir the pot a little bit. That's what it's all about. Have you tuned in next week? But let's get this party started in the Class 5A coaches rankings. Like I said, everybody know you got to start off with Newcastle. Yes, they fell short 2 points in the state championship game last year to the Colorado Titans. But hey, they said we on the mission. We ain't going to let nobody see us this summer. Didn't play no summer ball. Got 4 of the pieces coming back. I think they lost 1. When you got Z coming back in the post, you got Amara King, you got Kalani, you got Jordan. Now you got to find one more that can come in there, and it could be is it KK or
KK? Yeah.
Yeah, KK can step in the mix, and you still got Chloe Young. So and plus whoever else they got. But I'm telling you right now, those 4 dynamic, can't call them dynamic, the 4 power 4 girls right there. Those 4 all got a chance to go play at the highest level.
Well,
I know.
I think they still got the shooter, the Horton kid, don't they?
Who's that?
The Horton kid.
Which one is she?
Horton, she was a little shooter from last year. Came in
Well,
as
I
some
know
big games.
one of the girls transferred to Tuttle, so I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
So I'm not sure. So folks, when you listen to the show, please, I know you Newcastle people, they'll let me know
Well, they'll let you
what's
know.
going on. But I said those four are your top four. That's gonna get the most of the touches. I know KK's a hell of a defensive player, so she'll get a chance to do her thing. But like I said, those four are the main four that's gonna get the pot stirred for Newcastle. Then you coming in at number two, you got the Dell City Eagles. They lost their top player last year in Sasha. But Sasha turns his, she hands the keys over to McAllister and Uzi, so they'll be the main two running that guard position. But with Dell City strong as when you got the young lady in the post, you got two young ladies, you got the freshman, they call her Juju. Got a chance to watch her in Chicago, folks. I'm gonna tell you, she's everything which she's gonna be advertised. As a
Man.
freshman. She gonna give Coach White some depth. There's gonna be times that Coach White can go big because they're very athletic. So watch out for this. I mean, the
Well,
two big post players. Like it's like having Keem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson back in the day. In the post game.
like I tell you what it's like. It's like the Paris twins back in the
Yes,
day.
sir. Yes, sir. No, you're exactly right, Coach. That's a good one. That's a good good one right there. But no, like I said, then if you get Paris to come back, we haven't seen her in a year, but I know she's anxious to get back on the court and do her thing because before she left, she's playing outstanding ball. She probably had about 10 to 15 D1 offers, and she got to play on the circuit this year, so she got to play some makeup. So looking forward to see that. And McAllister is a good guard. She's a hell of a defense. If she can keep herself out of foul trouble, she's going to help Dell City do the thing. Dell City's hungry. They got beaten in the semifinals to Carl Albert. I know they're hungry to get back there. Everybody had Dell City and Newcastle picked to be in the state championship. Sometimes it's the way it crumbles, and sometimes it don't crumble that way. But looking to see what Coach White can do.
Well,
You know,
here's the deal with Dell City, Coach. Is I think they're going to go as far as the two shooters they have. They have Kamaya shooter,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and they got that young lady that came in from Shawnee that we saw at the camp.
Yes. And that's what I was gonna say. They had some pretty good movement, so they got some girls that can help and give them some depth. So looking to see what Dell City can do. But like I said, it's gonna start with with the young lady, the senior post player. I hope I get her name right. I think it's Siani. I hope that's right. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. Dean, like I said, you got Juju, the freshman, is gonna come in. But like I said, this team is very talented. They can easily win it. So don't count them out. They can be in the mix playing in the OG&E building
Yep.
on March whatever that is, that weekend, March 13. Then you come in with Carl Albert Titans, defending state champions. They bring some pieces back, lose two major pieces, but like any good program is always what the next what
Next man up.
next man up. And so, Coach, I'll let you talk about them because it's my daughter's team, and I don't know if I think I'm trying to be biased.
Okay. Well, you lose. We talk about losing Jakar, about Plunkett. So I think that may push a Sutton kid who came off the bench, into a bigger role. 3-point shooter. Now she doesn't block the shots, but she takes the charges. And sometimes those are a little bit more weary than the shot block. Shot blockers, I can at least get my arm up. I can fade out. I can change. But a charge taker, there's not much you can do when they're standing there. You might be able to try to do a Euro step, but she takes them at big games. Harold had big playoffs, shooting threes out there. And so you have her, and then you're going to have Hatchet. Again, another young lady that has experience, and you can't change experience, and she's got experience, and then you're going to come in with the point guard, Zoe Johnson. As far as having a good summer, I know she's been banged up, but a very productive summer. Been working on her game, and the thing about I think about a point guard is they get better every year mentally, IQ wise, and and it just never. It's like a quarterback, like a coach never forgets learning, and I think so even though her skill level's gonna go up, it's that IQ of being able to set up every year, no matter whatever, and you're just gonna get better every year. And then the key would probably be the Crawford twins.
Yes, sir.
They were role players last year. One of them's going to start. I know probably for sure. I don't know if both of them start, but they do give you some dynamics, versatility, as far as a high post shooter and a low and having some inside game. And so that'll be I think those are the things. You got another young lady I saw that was she was a freshman last year, sophomore. I saw her, and she was an eighth grader, play with y'all. And if she can contribute, she'll give you a good bench. Depth will be the question, but because you got kids now that were on the bench last year, Sutton, Crawford's, those kids may be now starters. And so, what do you have behind him will be the depth wise. Who's going to back up Harold this year? Who's going to back up Zoe as a guard? So those are things that you gotta ask. Now, you did have one young lady I saw, coach, we talked about. That was a freshman. Played with the Swarm. What was her name again?
Luna.
Luna can help you. Maybe not the ball handling, but the defensive part. She's going to give you that energy off the bench defensively. And offensively, she wasn't bad, but again, you got to play as a freshman at a high level. So, the thing about Carl Albert is they're not going to sneak up on anybody. You weren't favored last year, and you still won. That's me sneaking up this year. That ain't going to happen. You're going to get everybody's best. I'm looking down here at the roster. I'm going to go all the way down here to Pryor. I'm going to go all the way down here to Nathan Hale, Class, and Will Wright. Hey, you're going to get everybody's best. Now, whether or not they can do anything, I don't know. But they're going to come in the game with an upset mind. You may put that to bed in the first 5 minutes. But you know what? They're coming for the upset. Guyman, third, say Guyman, McAllister, somebody like that. They're coming for you, but I think you're in the mix. I think y'all talked about it. It's going to decide who goes east here. How it shakes out a little bit.
Well, Coach, you talk about the bench. I think they got a little bit more depth than they had last year. Like I said, granted, if you start both twins and one twins, so you're gonna. Somebody's got to slide in there. Two people got to slide in because you lose two people. You lose Plunkett, you lose Shakari. So somebody's got to slide in there. For Sutton and one of the twins, or both twins, and Sutton is 6 man. I don't know how Rich is going to do it, but I do think you are a little bit stronger because now you talk about having a bench. If you got one of the twins on the bench, then you got Luna, then you got Vanessa, then you got Casey.
Okay.
There'll be some other girls that can help you too. That's kind of helped the game. Isis. She can get in there and give you some defense and some stops. So I think he can go at least 8, 9 deep, which is good, especially when you get in those tournaments and especially when you're playing the Tournament of Champions, when you're playing the Carl Albert Festival. They're not going to in Missouri. Don't know much about it, but I think, like I said, they're gonna have to find, like you said, the defensive rebounder, which I think Burley can give you that. Maybe not the shot blocker, but the rebounders. I think one thing about the Twins, we're gonna have them on the show probably next week. Is that being on the EYBL? I hear a lot. Oh man, they're not fast enough to not this and this, but I think being on the EYBL, it has helped them because you have to go man to man, and so they have to move their feet. Now, there's things they still got to work on. Yes, that's when when school starts next week or whatever, and you're in basketball, Coach Ritchie and Coach Banks, they should be there working on these things, man. If it's weightlifting, if it's just footwork, or if it's just get some shots up, you got to be working on this thing. So, last year, kid was a freshman. She's a sophomore. I'm expecting a little bit more from her this year in the scoring. She's the type of young lady, Zoe, that can get you 15 to 20 points a game. But she's probably had to mix and get them on defense, some steals and stuff like that. But with Harold, I'm telling you right now, the best thing that could happen to her, she played summer ball all summer.
Nice.
Lights out. And Hatchet, I think Hatchet's gotten better. There's no pressure. You got the ring on your finger like Jennifer Lopez said, put the ring on me. And there ain't no pressure on these girls. Like you said, yeah, you might sneak up. Hey, but at the end of the day, you're going to get everybody's best shot, as you should in any game that you're playing. But like I said, they'd be interested in. But then we go down to number 4, Midwest City Bombers. Everybody picking up Bombers to win this, Coach. What do you think about that?
I think it's that year that you're waiting to see if it's really going to turn that corner. Are they going to make the playoffs? And if they make the playoffs, how far are they going to go? They got talent. They got talent. I listened to y'all's show last night. Caught that part. We talked about Midwest City, and I think the young lady that had the ACL that was out last year, is it Bailey?
Yes, sir, Bailey.
See, she didn't play last year.
Well,
and that's a young lady that's very athletic.
Yeah, she came back at the very end of the year.
Yeah, so I think it's, I think that people are on an expectation of they got the talent, turn the corner, and are they hungry? They could be hungry or feel the pressure, one of the two, and depending on, I'm sure every day in practice they're probably going hard. They want to make a state tournament.
No, I think Mississippi City's a team that when you talk to Mississippi, the first person you do when you open up the book, you see Brooklyn Henderson. She's the first
Hmm.
chapter of the book. Then you see Riri, a young lady got a lot of game, and a lot of times she led them in scoring, a quiet scoring. Nobody really knew and talked about, but Riri's a player that she can get hot, and when she gets hot, she can knock down 5 or 6
Hmm.
threes. She's done it. She did in the Dell City game last year. Then you talk about JJ. JJ's a quiet, solid. Don't know how much basketball she played this summer, so she's probably a little bit behind. I think she got hurt, but she's a shooter. She's a streaky shooter. She's the type of girl that can hit 9 threes in the game, and you wouldn't even know. But I mean, like I said, but I think the only thing that's going to bother me with a little bit is the bench. Brandy, I think if Brandy can stay out of foul trouble and get them a double double each game, she's going to cause a lot of physical. A lot of teams are not going to be physical enough to go against her. One thing I think that's good for the lady tight because they do got two bigs that can go there and bang with her. Then you got Kenley that can bang with her. So I think with most teams that play Mississippi, they're gonna have a hard time with Brandy because she's a big girl and Brooke get into the hole and then kick it
Hmm.
out to her 3 point shooters. Now I don't know if their 3 point shooters are good as last year's 3 point shooters as with the Walters, Riri's big sister, and then
Yeah.
with Johnson. I don't know. And then you had that senior point guard in Promise. I don't know if they got that still type of depth. Now, when you have four seniors out there that can do the things they got, yes, you talk about Bailey, but I don't know if Bailey's a good shooter as these girls. I think Bailey is built to get to the hole, do the small things. But do I think they get in the playoffs? Yes. I think do they make a good run? Yes. Bishop McGinnis gets out of 5'8", so that opens the door for somebody else. But like
Hmm.
I said, it really depends on what side who's going to go east, coach. That could be the big difference right there. Who's going to go east?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, you got if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what they do here in this ranking. I mean, again, it's the only rankings that come out for Class 5A and 6A, and it's basically for pairings of your districts. And I mean, do you really want to have district number one with Newcastle and Carl Albert in it, or Midwest City and Dell City? I mean, last year you had 3 and 4 in the same district.
Yeah.
I mean, do we going to do that again? Or are we going to separate them? And who wants to go? Who wants to go east? But if you're going east, I don't, man, I don't know. I mean, top four teams there in the West. I mean, so send me east, brother. I'm like, hey, let's pack them up and let's go. Now, the boys may be different though, but I can tell on the girls' side, somebody's not going to problem going east.
Yeah. Well, then you come in at number 5. You got Glenpool. A team that came up short and made it. I think they made it to the state last year. Got upset by East Central. Everybody had them picking to win when what do you call it? That's not regionals. Uh,
Yeah,
everybody
the
had them.
area.
Yeah, they had them winning it, and they got beat by East Central and Chloe and her crew. So then they had to come in the back with, it, and they kind of got beat up in the state tournament. I think they ended up playing. I don't know who they played first round, but they got beat up pretty good. But this team comes with a little guard that can score, though, coach. I mean, we all know that she can get up and get some points. What's her name?
Yeah, 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 Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. Yaya Gibson. I like that. Yaya Gibson. I mean, she's not very big. She's probably about 5'3", 5'4", but she can shoot the lights out the ball. She's kind of quick, so you got to stay in front of her. I want to say it might have been Booker T that played. I'm not sure. It might have been Booker T that played then first round. But whoever played the first round kind of got busy with her and beat her
Yeah.
a little bit in state tournament. But they got some firepower. Yaya Gibson is a senior that's coming back. Then she's going to have Proctor that's going to help her.
The Proctor's the kid that's the shooter.
Yes, I mean Gibson's a good shooter too, coach.
Oh, I know. Proctor's the kid that can get he can get 4 or 5 in a row, make you call timeout.
Yeah, and then they got one more young lady. Was it Kinley Kirk?
Yeah, Kenley Kirk is about 5'11", almost 6 foot post player, does the dirty work inside, sets the screens. I think they run a pick and roll offense, if I remember right, from a summer league I saw game. But she does the things inside. A power forward that plays inside. Now they are missing the post player they had last year, the
Yeah,
very athletic post player that was inside last year, the volleyball kid. I think she went on to play volleyball somewhere. So they're not as athletic inside, but they do have kids that can run up and down. And they have a feeder program. I can't remember which dad. One of the dads runs them kids all summer long together. And so even though you may not know who they are, they've been playing together all summer. And they'll come in and give us a bench.
yeah. One thing you talked about too, going to East, is that hey, Booker T gets out and go up to 6A, so that opens up some a little breathing room because Booker T night in and night out they're pretty salty, but they're all moving up to 6A, so the teams on the East side is like yes. So that opens up the door. So like it's one of these teams, Middale or Newcastle had to go east. It's not going to be a bad deal. So because it'll help you get to the because I think if you all four stay on this side, somebody's not going to get in. Not going to get in, coach. Not
Someone
going.
get upset. One of the four will get upset that way.
So then you got Sapopa, coach. They come down from 6A to 5A. Don't know that much about them because they were 5A last year. It's a team that should have went to state. Had to end up backing out because some grades or something went wrong. But I think they still got a couple girls. That still can go. They got Ledbetter, it's a senior, and then they got
Yeah, little bear won national championship in the. She's a shooter. Won national championship in the Native American, one of the Native American tournaments.
okay. So I mean, big time shooter right there. Then who else they got? They got
The other kid I know about is the Bradley Hobb kid. Is a sophomore. Had a good summer, and then Lou Cheney has been around. It seems like Little Bear and Cheney been there forever. I mean, they've been players since they were freshmen.
keep reclassifying, coach. Keep reclassifying. But
What?
they're gonna be hungry, coach, because they didn't get in the playoffs last year. They had to end up disqualifying themselves from the tournament. So these girls as juniors and now as seniors, they don't want to go out like that this year. So then they'll be hungry to try to get into the tournament. And then you go to Shawnee, coach Shawnee. Whitney, she took a little hit. Some girls left, and she still got the big post player and lefty. That's really salty for them. But I don't know how good they're going to be because I mean, like I said, you lose some key pieces. I mean, some of those girls are sitting over at Dell City now. They said, hey, we're gonna just get on the what is that? Is that I-40, coach? What highway is that?
That's I-40, down I-40.
Hey, they got on I-40 and just kept on going past Tinker and said, hey, we're gonna stop over here at Dell City. I guess they got the good.
They went right past Post Road. Can you believe that?
He said what?
They went right past Post Road.
They probably knew they're gonna have. Hey, I don't know why. I mean,
Y'all need a Post Road exit, man.
and I guess we gotta get an exit there. I mean, I guess you get off on Sunday Lane, you can get right to the school that they still live in the Shawnee. And you got to get off on Douglas and go right, turn right at the stop at the McDonald's and go down a little bit, then turn left. Then you
You
go
right there.
to school to get to the high school. So hey, there we go. We got to get that fixed. Maybe get some more kids to transfer in. But like I said, Shawnee's a team, man. Like I said, they got the post player, lost some good players. They're gonna have a true freshman starting point guard for them,
I tell you what, that freshman. Now, I played against her junior high, and the freshman. I can't remember if there was a freshman girl that talked about going there from transferring, and I don't know if that's the kid that transferred over, or that young lady is still at the same school she was at down the road from Shawnee.
well, yeah,
But they do have the lefty, like you mentioned, and she's athletic as heck.
really athletic. You gotta make it go right if you're gonna try to slow it down. If you're gonna get left, might be a long night. That team probably should have beat DLC last year. They just kind of ran out of gas in the state tournament. But like I said, Parker Little be the starting point guard. Her sister, a come over that was over at the North Rock
Nothing.
Creek, so she comes over with a little experience playing for North Rock Creek, so she'll give them a little help. But Little Parker be the main one that's going to run the show for them. But they still got some players. You can't sleep on them now. And nobody knows who's moved into Shawnee right now. They could have some girls moved in right now. So
Who's the freshman point guard again?
Parker Lily.
Okay.
Yeah, Parker Lily, yes. Her dad, hey, dad's one of our sponsors for the show. Hey,
Let me
Coach.
see.
Signature Homes. I got it to come out. Hard to say, you said 5 times in a row. Then we're going to go down to East Central. East Central's a scary team.
Man.
We all know that. They got Chloe. That Chloe can be a young lady that can go off any minute. Had a chance to see her and Carl Albert go head to head last year in the first round. I'm not gonna lie, Coach. Out of all the games that we played, I was really nervous that game just because Chloe had just went off against Glenpool and hit 32 against them, and playing good ball. This team started off really really slow last year. Lost their coach. Somebody comes in and coach them. Not off the street, but somebody just came in at the very end and said, "Hey, I'm gonna coach these girls," and took them to the. They went on a 8, 9, 10, 11 game winning streak and ran to Carl Albert, but Carl Albert played them really good. I got to be a little biased right here. Put Zoe Johnson on Chloe and shut her down to 4 points. So when a girl went off for 32 and held her to 4 points, you're gonna win a lot of ball games that way. But Chloe's a young lady that's very talented that can score from all 3 levels, and she gets rebounds good. So
Didn't she have like 21 or something one game?
She had 32 against she had 32 against
32 rebounds?
no, oh yeah, she had like 32 rebounds. I mean, I'm sorry, she had 32 points and 21 rebounds against Glenpool.
Woo!
So I'm saying this girl is scary. You gotta be ready to play when you play against her because like she's the real deal. Like I said, then they got Ava Seago, and like I said, it ain't no telling some other girls moved in because that's what happened last year. They started off real slow. They had a bunch of girls move in at Christmas, and then it got hot. So you know how this transfer portal works, folks. I mean, you can be bad one day, and guess what? Click of a finger, you in the state championship. You in the state championship, coach. That's why I try to tell people, coach gonna get 10. He gonna get 10 to 12 wins. Don't count my man out.
I won't get no Christmas movies like everybody else. Yeah, I don't get those. I gotta have before July the 15th kind of move-ins.
Does your school get off you know? Can you turn off the highway and get there?
Man, you right there. You pass the hey, you can pass the resort. We're right next to the resort. What are you talking about?
Then we got El Reno coming in at number 9, coach. What do you think about El Reno? I'll let you talk about this one.
You know, when you come to El Reno, you got to talk to the coach. You got to talk about Jennifer Douglas, what Jennifer Douglas does.
That's it.
And she's got a system where it doesn't rely on stars per se. Now, she's had great players, don't get me wrong, but she puts them in the right spot. She does a good job of getting the most out of what she has. And you look at them every year, you're kind of like, oh, you know, they look okay. And then all of a sudden, you know what? They're winning. And even like last year, I mean, you know, she got to what, area semifinals or something like that? You know, she didn't go home in the first round.
No.
What I'm saying. They were young for the last couple of years. She's got some veteran players coming back. I saw them play at Mustang. And, you know, here's what I think. The shot clock's going to help the Lady Indians because that's their style of play sometimes. They used to be up and down, try to be, but she's going to work it. I mean, Jennifer's going to do well. And I'm curious to see who her players are going to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I've seen them, but I don't know their names, so I apologize, Coach Douglas, but I do enjoy watching your team play.
Well, coach, I mean, they're going to have a sophomore, which is related to her daughter, Jada.
I saw her this summer,
Yeah.
really good. But man, she's a heck of a volleyball player too.
That's what I'm saying. So, but I mean, she's gonna give her mom everything she got when it's time to go at hardwood and time to go play ball. But Jada's a young lady. They start with her. Then I heard they also had a movement, a young lady that got hurt last year that's gonna come back this year. That's gonna help them a lot. So when you play Jennifer Douglas, you can't count her out. I mean, there's been times that hey, I tell people all the time, man, you cannot never count her out. I think her, Katie Bass, are some of the best women coaches around the state, along with Jennifer, Coach Holbrook. Holbrook. So, but like I said, El Reno missed the playoffs last year. I don't think they'll miss it this year. I think they're gonna be better what they are. She knows that. Then her assistant coach is one of the best assistant coaches around. Prince. I mean, he can go off to Eating High School and coach a team and be very successful. Then he coaches next to Roy. Then with Southern Ties, so they did a really good job this year to get a chance to coach Minor and then get a chance to coach Holmes. So he's got a lot of tools in his play. And then I think he also coaches the Nigeria team when they go to the Olympics. So this guy knows a lot about basketball. Then his wife knows a lot about basketball. So you put those two heads together. All it takes is 2 or 3 players to build a good team, to make a good team. So don't count them out this year. El Reno Lady Indians. Then we go down to Collinsville, coach. I don't know if they made the state tournament last year.
I don't think they did. I think they were in the area finals. I think they were a game away, maybe 2, but I thought they were really close. They're going to bring back the Katie Brown girl who's a point guard, getting some offers from NAI schools. I saw their little guard Rain Lytle plays with the Swarm team. I think she plays on. Maybe it might be the Eves kid from Tuttle, or it might be your kid from Carl Albert team. But I may be wrong. But she's tough. And then I keep hearing about this freshman coming in, the Bennett kid. And seeing her highlights. So, I don't know where they're at. I don't know where they're going districts. I know, when I talked to Coach Wells at Shawnee last year, we were sitting around talking during tournament. She said, "Man, Collins is a team that you got to watch out for. Nobody knows about him." She said, "But trust me, you got to watch out for him."
Then you go down to number 11. You got Durant. Now Durant, is that the one where the accident happened at?
Yeah, it was, and they, I don't know what they had coming back. I know Coach Cater went down there, moved from Okima down to Durant. Likes his team. I just don't know what they have in their system because I don't see them during the summer. And when I looked, I don't know if they're going to play many AAU ball. If they do, they're probably playing. Oh, probably down the Durant. You're probably playing down some of the Texas schools right there in up in the Eastern Texas area. So, but I don't know their team very well. But I know Coach Cater. He's going to do a good job. They're going to be able to play defense. That's his thing. Play defense and do a little spread offense. So, if they got the players, they got a good coach. So,
No, no, I think like I said, they're gonna be decent. Like I said, I think they had some girls coming back. I know that accident, they all kind of rally and came. Dad ended up stepping up. I think the son passed away. Grandpa, his father ended up stepping up, taking over the team. So we really, see what they can do this year. No trouble. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see some of the teams because they don't come to our team camp. So until we start seeing them at some camps and getting a little bit of film, it's hard to kind of talk about. The folks don't get mad if we don't. So I dropped a lot of names on your team. Quid is a team that I thought last year kind of really underachieved. I think they got the young lady that's coming back. I think she's a senior. She kind of got I think she got the little orange fro.
Gia
Uh,
Davis,
yes,
Gia Dennis. I'm sorry, Gia Dennis.
I think she's a good little post player. She can, I think she can do a little bit of everything. Play post, play guard. I'm really looking to see her having a big senior year. Like I said, I know they kind of fell short last year. Didn't have the year I thought they were because they was the year before they were a playoff team. Last year they didn't get in. So looking to see her have a big year and then her team. But like I said, when you talk about Kawita, you're going to talk about her first. She's the one that's going to get everything
Oh
going.
yeah.
That's going. Anything else you want to talk about them, Coach?
No, I don't know what they had. They're taking a hit. They had a really good group go through. When you're in Quita, now with the transfer portals and things like that, you have your junior high. You kind of count on a little bit. So, I don't know if some kids moved out before they got there, but the Gia Dennis kid, I can remember a couple of years ago, she had 18 points, in the state tournament. So, and she's strong. She can handle the ball. She can go inside. I mean, she's probably got to do everything for them. But they usually have good kids in their program
Yes.
that play AAU throughout the Tulsa area, maybe some JYD stuff like that, and other teams in that area. So there may be some kids there we just don't know.
Yep. Then you come in at number 13. You got Tahlequah. Like I said, this team right here is going to be led by Riley Carter Jr. and then Billy Lamb is going to be the two players that's going to help them be to where they need to be, trying to make it to the big dance. One of them's a junior, so it's going to be really interesting to see, like I said, what they can do. Tahlequah, there's a team that last year they were played good, then kind of fell off. Played good. They got to be more consistent this year. They beat good teams and turn around and lose to a team they shouldn't lose to. So I know coach and the staff will be probably even hey, we can't lose the teams that we should beat. Especially if they trying to get in. Like I said, especially if you send one of these Middale and Newcastle to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to play great ball all how many games you play.
Well, if I remember right, they made state 2 years ago, and I think the Lamb kid dropped like 20 plus in the state tournament, if I remember right.
This and Prep's a team that I got to see last year. I think they played in the Carl Albert, festival. Um, you know, not saying they were bad. Just they had a bunch of young girls. They're kind of tiny. Didn't have a lot of size. So, they're really eager to see what they can do this year. I don't think they're gonna be anybody knocking down doors that that hey man that this team is just outstanding. But hey, they got them ranked up here pretty high in front of some other people, so that kind of tells you some things right there. With Edison Prep coming in at 15. A new team that joins back to 5A was there at 5A, left 5A, now they back at 5A. Is Elgin. Elgin's a team that I know they're ranked number 16, but you got to you can't sleep on this team. You can't.
Well, let me tell you about Elgin real quick. They did lose their go-to player, the Carter kid, the blonde that was in the post. Went played softball, college softball. But in basketball, she was still worth 18 points, 12 rebounds. And so they will have to replace that piece of their puzzle. Um, but everybody else, I believe, around her was coming back. And so it's kind of one of those kids that you lose, and maybe the other kids step up now because you're not feeding one kid. Maybe now it's spread out a little bit. But that is the team, coach, that you said that is the team that bumped up from 4A to 5. And so people were trying to get film on them quickly, because they don't know 'em.
No, coach. I mean, Lily was over there, and they were a pretty salty team. And I know one year they came to Carl Albert. It might have been Lily's freshman year. They came into Carl Albert and gave a good game. So they're a dangerous team. You can't not sleep on them. I mean, they're gonna get coach well and be well up, but don't know that much about them coming back from 4 and not coming to 5
Mhm.
days. But like I said, they're gonna be a team that you got to go out and play. If you don't, you can easily take an L against them. So look to see what else you can do this year. Wouldn't be surprised if they did sneak in the playoffs, but like I said, it'd be tough, especially with some of these topper teams loaded already with some of the players they got coming back. Don't know how much Elgin got coming back. It's like one of their star players now. She's playing over at Newcastle. Really, that could be another starter for Newcastle too. So there's a lefty they can play, and she got an offer early this year. So congratulations to her.
Yeah.
We go down to who we got next.
Prior.
Pryor's a team that's been in the playoffs, man. They found a way to get in the playoffs, so they're a well coached team.
Their best player left, though. She's at Locust Grove now.
Who did?
Their best player.
Hey, there you go. Transfer
The,
portal.
Ray, the Raymond the Raymond girl. The Raymond girl just got an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went from Prior to Locust Grove.
That's the young lady that was hurt though, right?
Yeah, she was hurt.
Yeah, she just saw her play the other day, man. And I'm telling Coach Vic this, man. I mean, she's in between. She can play the post. She got skills enough to play the guard position. She's quick, and she's coming off an ankle injury. Ankle.
She had an ankle injury. She got back 2 weeks later, broke her pinky finger,
Yeah.
and then got back. So
Dad,
it just shows you kids tough.
yeah, got a picture with her the other day. Dad, I'm gonna tell you right now, it was me and it's my baby. I know how it is because my baby's always on the ground, beat up and hurt. I was gonna invest in some bubble wrap, and I tell you right now, she's a good young lady, man. And Coach, real quick, I love it when we get out to these places now. People, I feel like we came in and paid a little bit again. People want to take our picture, and people's looking, and I was like, hey, man, I feel good, but we appreciate every young lady that does.
Yes,
follow.
sir.
So it does go a long way, and love to have our picture taken with you guys. It's something we can always remember for a long time. But like Pryor lost her best player, she's over at Locust Grove, and Locust Grove said, hey. Nick and Christian got out of here. We got a chance now, Coach.
Oh yeah.
What we got now?
You got Noble. Let me tell you about Noble.
Talk to me.
They got the Carrington girls from Lexington, okay, who had a good year last year for Lexington. They came over to Noble. Noble already had some kids that were there,
Right.
and you add those, and then I don't know if the Givens kid went with the Carrington girls from Lexington as well. Blake Givens, who's a really good athlete, and they're a team that you look at Noble and you go, okay, it's Noble. But I'm going to tell you that they brought two athletes in, maybe a third, to go with what they have. So, and I don't know if everybody knows that, but that might be why they're 18 right now because they're thinking, you know what? They look at last year's roster. But I know the Carrington girls were there. I don't know if the Givens kid went with them. They were starters last year for Lexington. I think won like 14 games or something, 15 games. So they have experience. And they play AAU. They play with Identity Elite. So they have AAU experience. So, I'm curious to see. But that may be a team that, if I look, knowing the personnel, they might should have been up there around 14, maybe 13.
Well, Coach, they also played, like I said, they played the EYCL. So they got bumped this summer playing against some great competition. Then, like I said, Mike's got these girls out there playing. Yeah, they might not be winning a lot on that circuit, but now they take what they did learn on that circuit and go back and play, for in the Class 5A. I can tell you right now, Colorado had a tough time beating them, and they should have beaten Middle City last year, Noble. So they had some girls that could stroke the ball. I don't know how many of them graduated. So, it's funny when you talk about this team, and that's when I was shaking my head like, hey, this team is a scary team. You got to play good ball. If you don't, you could take a loss. And they should have beat Middle City last year. They played us to a tight game, both games. So I think we ended up getting away with one of them for a while. The third quarter, man, it might have been a 4 or 5 point game, and we ended up stretching it. But this team can go. And like I said, one of probably the nicest stadiums that you're gonna play
fantastic
in.
gymnasium.
Popcorn is pretty good, Coach. It's a two thumbs up on the
Is it right?
Yeah. So if you get a chance to get over there to Noble Bear Town, get you some of that.
Lady Bears.
Oh, I'm sorry, Noble Bears. Let me get that right for everybody get mad at me.
Yeah, Noble Bears.
Coach, this is a good one right here, Guyman. Guyman is a streaky team too. I mean, they're gonna be well coached. You got to
Coach Chapman does a good job down there. Coach Chapman does.
Yeah, Coach, I'll let you speak on them. Then I'll throw some words in.
Well, the deal with Coach Chapman is they're in the gym. He's got a deal where you get 1,500, 2,000 shots during the summer or something like that. He's got some system he told me about that they come in, they get their shots up, record them, mark them down. They get awarded for getting their shots in. Spread offense, the only thing is he lacks height. I bet, at times his tallest girl may be 5'7". So he's going to run you, spread you out. Now, that shot clock may have to change him a little bit. Those teams that like to pull you out and run, 45 seconds, he's going to have more possessions. Because Chapman's a good coach to deal with that, is sometimes when kids leave in and out at Guyman, and you never know what you're going to get sometimes. So, but good coach, they're in the gym. I can tell you that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Where we at now? We on
Bishop Kelly.
Bishop Kelly, a team that made it to the state tournament 2 years ago. I know Carl Iver met them in the first round. Jordan Richardson had a hell of a game that game. I think she went off for 24 points. Don't know if they made it last year. So it's a team that goes back and forth. That's a really well coached team. But folks, it's kind of hard with some of these kids that don't get the transfers in, and your best player do transfer out, and for you to decide to stay right there where you want to be. So don't know that much about them. Like I said, it made it to the playoffs 2 years ago. Hopefully they can get back. But like I said, probably got a lot of work cut out because like I said, there's a lot of good other teams in the East, and like I said, don't know that much about them. Who they got on the roster that can help them get there. So, well,
Yeah.
good luck to them this year, and hopefully they can get back to the Deads. Then we go down to Claire.
Claremore.
Don't- Same thing. Don't know that much about them. I don't know.
I don't know anything about Claremore. I mean, there's a lot of kids that I know, and we talk about Kelly's, we talk about Claremore's. A lot of kids I don't know, but I don't know all of the Tulsa teams either in AAU.
Yeah,
I know some of them are out there. There's the Federal Ballers who have good groups. The Lady Federal Ballers are a really good group. And I don't know if any of those kids go to any of these Tulsa schools we're talking about. I know these kids are in JYD program. That's a very solid program in Tulsa. And you got a lot of other Tulsa programs up there that I just don't see. So I'm not familiar with their program. I know Bishop Kelly had players. I don't know if they're still there. I know some left, went to Victor Christian, some went to Rejoice,
that's it.
and they're in and out. And so I don't know, but if I knew all their AU programs, I'd probably be able to shout it out. Again, that's a tip. You got to let us know who you are. You
That's it.
got to let us know. Tag us, post us, send us videos. Let us know who you are, especially if you're in that area in Tulsa 918.
And we want to talk about you. We used to get the scoop from my man. What was his name? Bonds.
Jeff. Jeff.
Bonds.
Jeff?
Yeah, he used to send us some stuff, man. I guess his baby must have graduated. He don't talk to us no more. Come on, man.
Uh,
You gotta keep it going, coach. You gotta keep it going. We don't know. He said, "Y'all ain't driving away." Well, no, coach. We depended on you to send us the information we need so we can talk about it. Yes, we don't mind driving, but man, I mean, I gotta know about what I'm gonna go see. I don't want to go sit at the gym and I ain't gonna go see nothing. But yeah, folks like this, send us stuff out, man. We want to talk about these teams and have them on the show. Then we come in at um,
here's the deal about Altus. Coach Black used to be at Western Oklahoma State. Coach Black used to be at Southwest Christian in Bethany. And I think he even helped a little bit at Southern Nazarene. He used to be a Bethany High School coach. Coach Black and coach. Coach Black and coach. He had a little guard. I think she graduated. Maybe not. If she didn't, hit me up. Let me know. I know I follow you, but off the top of my head, I can't remember the name. But they're going to be coached. They're going to be hustled. They're not the Altus of old. Now, whether he's got the athletes or not to be 5A, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what. You got to get on that bus ride and you got to drive 2.5 hours down there to Altus to play.
hey,
You
I
know,
watched last year against Dale City. I mean, not Dale City against McGinnis, uh,
hmm
and game of game, and probably should have won the game. And Bishop ended up, winning the game. But I mean, Altus had him down most of the game, and at the end, I think Ace kind of took over and knocked down some big shots, her and Cash and Mariah. But for the most part, though, you got to watch out for Altus, man. They're a good team, like the coach said. You got to give them that bus ride. It's a military base, so you might have kids that move in that we don't know nothing about. So
hmm
you guys don't have anything about Altus, please send it to us and let us know. DM us, send us, put it to us on our Twitter page and let us know so we can find out what's going on. But like I said, last year I thought they was a team that easily could have got it in. Played Dale City and and then Newcastle. So they had a tough road, but like I said, they had a chance to knock off Michigan against a couple of times, but didn't do it. But like I
You
said, they're
know,
a team that can be dangerous because you don't know nothing about them.
kind of getting back to what you said real quick on Altus, they're surrounded like Shawnee. They're surrounded by small schools around them that are very successful. You talk about Shawnee, you've got Bethel, you've got Dale, you got North Rock Creek. I mean, you got schools around them, and Altus is that way. They're surrounded by some A's and 2A schools that are around them that those kids can either come to Altus or they can go somewhere else. If those you can get those kids to come to Altus, they'll be a different team. So depending on who he gets coming in.
Earlier, I got to correct something real quick because I looked at it wrong. I was talking about MacArthur, and it should be Lot. It should have been Lawton MacArthur team, and like I said, it's a good little team. Got some athletes on it. So at number 14, I think I said I was talking about McAllister, but it should have been MacArthur. I was talking about. So excuse me on that. So at number 14, he comes in at Lawton MacArthur instead of
Mm-hmm.
McAllister. So like I said, but Lawton MacArthur does have some good athletes, a team that's pretty tough. What's called talked about them just the other day. Lots of teams that you never know what they got. They got some girls that play AU ball. Like I said, they might not be playing on a big time circuit, but they're really, really
Yeah.
some good ball players. We're gonna round this out. We might touch bits on some of these other teams, but like I said, coming in at number 23 is Memorial. Don't know much about them, but I will say coming in at number 24 is Lawton. Lawton started a bunch of freshmen last year, so this team will be better. So do not sleep on this team. This team can knock off a Carl Albert, a Middle City, a Dale City, a Newcastle if you don't come play. They played a lot of freshmen last year that had some talent, but they were just young. So now these girls are a year older, so watch out for Lawton. It's another military base. Ain't no telling who moved in. They might
Mm-hmm.
have 6, 7 Juju Boo come in, and nobody knows until tip off comes. So watch out for that team. Like I said, I thought that team last year. I called it last year. I said, hey, this team's gonna be dangerous next year when these girls are a year older and they're playing and they were in ball games. But they lost all ball games. They were young, but now they got a year under their belt. Don't know what they did in summer league, but lots of teams you got to watch out for. They come in
Mm-hmm.
at number 24. Then you talk about McAllister comes in at number 26. Guthrie Blue Jays, man. I mean, just basketball. Everybody know football is the first choice there in Guthrie, but you
I
know,
remember her name. They got one of them ladies about 5'10", 5'11". She's not bad of a player. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but they do have one girl about 5'10". I kind of like. I seen her in summer. I can't remember who she plays with, but they do have one player that's
yeah. And
you
number
know
27 comes in at Duncan. Then you got number 28 coming, Will Rogers, the team that made it to the playoffs. I know one year Andre McCorder's daughter played there. I think she took her talents and left and went on
they
to
got to move in. They got a couple of movies. I saw. I don't know the names. I don't know the kids, but they got to put. I saw a couple kids
yeah,
post that they transferred.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You never know about who these teams are. I mean, I know they're kind of ranked low, but people don't know who's transferred. Katie kind of mentioned this last night, and I kind of like what she said. She said they need to do when these kids move in, they gotta send a kind of note say, hey, such and such moved in. That's just like if Zoe and the twins or Harold and Hatchet or Sutton all moved out, would Carl be still sitting at number 4 or number 3?
Yeah.
No, probably not because you had some girls move out. So I think, like I said, folks, when you watch this show, please let us know who's in and who's out, because then we can talk about it in our next show and say, hey, watch out for this team because they did get a good time moving. Then
Yeah.
you got, where we at, Coach?
Yeah. Klassen.
Okay, Klassen. Klassen lost her best player. She's played over at Mustang,
Mm-hmm.
scored 54 points. So I don't know how much they got. It'll be a tough season for them. Don't have a lot of girls that come out. So good luck to them this season. That's all that I can say.
Yep.
You got Southeast. Just another tough program, man. Just I think the boys program is pretty good, but the girls kind of struggle a little bit. Then you got Nathan Hale. Same thing with them. They come in at number 31. Then they comes in at the last is Santa Fe South. Half times, not knocking these girls, but a lot of these girls are not basketball players. They're just out there just to just kind of fill the team. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the first 10, 15. All those girls got a shot. I mean, I don't care if because you start off with number one, don't mean you're number one or two or three. You still got to go play the game and still got to go put the ball to the hole. But coach, I know, like I said, I think we probably went a little bit longer, but we got a chance to talk 5A, and like I said, we'll start having some guests on tomorrow night. We'll have the Jeffrey Twins own, two young ladies that's going to be a hot commodity. Like I said earlier, teams going to be fighting to try to get them to come play for their program because they're both great ball players. The Jeffries girls, both of these girls got a chance to go play high level college basketball. They keep doing the things they got to do, and like I said, whatever school they pick, the coach gonna get a heck of a player.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna get and go. And you know what? And make it one or two off that team to follow them.
That's it. That's it. That's the truth right there.
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying. Coach, anything else when we close out?
No, I mean that's a good list. I mean, I think there's. I think the big question is where are the big four going to go? Top four going to go? Where are they going to land? Who's going east? Who's going west? Who's going to end up with Sapulpa? Who's going to end up with Glenpool? You know, who's going to end up? I tell you what, if one of those teams go east, who's going to end up with East Central? You know, I mean, you're going to be in there with East Central, you know, and you're going to be traveling on the road at least half your games.
Yeah, that's tough. I hope it ain't us. Let's gas prices go down. I did enough traveling this summer.
Like you playing like EYBL, huh? Tony riding the bus. I'm going to Glenpool on the bus.
Yeah, I'm about to ride the bus, man. I'm traveling out, Coach. But folks, you know what time it is. Oh, you can hear it. We want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to another great episode of Between the Line Girls Hoops with my man Coach B. Like I said, we got a chance to talk 5A coaches ranking. We didn't do it coaches ranking, but like I said, we want to thank everybody on our sponsor board that's helping us keep building this and building it, folks. We highlight chicken grease, so we want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to another great episode of Between the Line Girls Hoops. We'll have a special guest tomorrow night. Two young ladies out there, UConn, the Jeffrey Twins. Excited about the class of 2031?
Yeah, 31.
Folks, look at us. We're on class of 2031. Last year, 29. We still got some 30s we got to talk. Folks, we still got some 28s that's out there that still got to do some things to do. So, like I said, once again, we want to thank you, and we'll catch you next time. See ya!
Yeah.